All right, happy post 4th of July. That was a pretty wild 4th of July. I don't know about y'all, but my eyes were peeled to the crypto charts most of the evening there. But welcome back to the Crypto Astro Paradise, although we're getting a lot of carnage in the markets. If you're new here, I do technical analysis and run an astrology birth chart for Bitcoin and see if the astrology correlates with the TA. I'll give my Bitcoin predictions at the end and tell you what I'm doing at the end of the video, but none of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Welcome, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. I see you there. We have people on live. Now, very interesting, we have hit very high fear on the Bitcoin fear and greed index. That's no surprise. One thing that is very important here is we have now hit a lower low here. As you can see, the Bitcoin fear and greed, we've been going up. We've been creating a higher high. You know, that was back in August 2022, higher high, higher high, higher high. And we hit the peak. This was around the market peak of March 5th, about within a week of the very peak price of Bitcoin. And then ever since then, we've created a lower low and then another lower low and another lower low. And we're obviously seeing that with the Bitcoin price action as well. Oh shoot, I gotta move my face. Looks like my face was blocking it there. So let me show you guys really quick once again. So as I was saying, you know, the peak of the market was up here and then we hit a lower low and then a lower low and a lower low. We got 30 a couple days ago, and then we just got 29. Very high fear. We haven't gotten this low, I mean, since September of last year, but in terms of the last bull market, once we got to levels that low, around here, around April 2021, that's when we had the major summer lows for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin fell off in the summer 2021, it did head back up, so we could see something like that, but we're certainly not out of the woods yet. We could have some more time to go. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin liquidations, we have gotten more than $500 million of liquidations just in the past 24 hours. So people have been getting wrecked in crypto. As you can see, here are all the exchanges where people have been getting wrecked. Their longs have been getting liquidated. All right, so a lot of people are clearly losing their long positions, losing some money here. This is fairly normal in crypto, guys. Okay, this happens quite a bit, but we have been dropping. Let's go to the hourly. You know, this is what we saw. On the 4th of July, we just tanked from this level all the way down here to 53,591. So we created a new low for this year for Bitcoin. And I believe, because we started the year off, I can double check that, but a new local low. And good news is we got a good bounce off of there so far. You know, we bounced off that level and we're headed up. We were at 56,000. This is a good level right here. If we can hold this, I'm not saying we are going to, but so far we are holding this at around 56,222. That is taking a 50% level from the peak of the market from Bitcoin down to, I believe here, this level back in January. Oh, that was January of this year. Okay, so we have not created a new low this year, but we've created a new local low for the past few months. So that's a 50% level. That's a potential area of support. Now we did go through that level, but let's see, we might close the day above that. So if we can close the day above that, and then if we can close the week above that, then that will be holding more support, but we still have a few more days for the weekly close. We can zoom into this. So as you can see right now, we're above this level, the 50% level right now. But we have 3 more days before that weekly close. If we close below that, then we likely have more dumps to go. And we will also be looking at the astrology today to see, a lot of people in technical analysis don't look at the astrology and they're missing out majorly. So that's what I do on this channel. My astrology predictions have been 90% accurate so far. We're still hanging around 90%. Let me show you the previous video that I made right here where I told you guys, I warned you about this very negative astrology transit that was coming up in June. I told you guys, look at this video title, Major Warning, Bitcoin June 2024 Forecast is Concerning. I told you guys straight up in the title. Let's take a look at the video, what I said. I warned you guys that they were coming for probably some negative price action this summer. Here we go. Now, this is super, super huge caution here, guys, because we have Saturn conjuncting Uranus. I have not seen a negative transit like this for a long time. Since we had the Silicon Valley Bank collapse when Saturn conjuncted the Bitcoin Venus. Okay, guys? So we could even get more bank collapses this summer happening around June 18th or even July 11th, guys. Okay? Because Saturn is the planet of restriction, hard lessons in reality, banking institutions, and it's going right over Uranus, which is the planet of crypto and technology. All right, so we could see a black swan event. We could see major dumps, particularly in June, maybe even July. All right, and that's what we saw. We've seen major dumps. We haven't necessarily had a black swan event, unless you consider Mt. Gox selling a bunch of the Bitcoin as one. But honestly, guys, we're actually not even out of the woods yet, okay? And that's because we still have that transit in effect until really through July. And then we also have another negative astrology hit on July 15th that I can talk a bit more about. But first off, let's finish up looking at the Bitcoin chart. I mean, we're holding up above this local 50% level, like I was saying. If we head down, look at this trend line. If we continue heading down on this trend line, we could have more downside to go. And in terms of next levels of support, we do have some support around this 50%. Well, actually, above that first. We do potentially have some support. I'm not saying we're going to hold it, but this area here back in February, support is potentially around 52,000 there, 52, 53,000. We already hit 53,526. So it could hit 52, maybe a wick down. Now, if we go below that, then we head further down to this 50% level, which is taking a Fibonacci from the very peak of the market all the way down to the low. And that 50% level is at 44,720. So it's really around pretty close to 45,000. That's the max I want to see it go down. If it goes lower than that, that's not good. If it gets a wick lower and bounces way back up, that should be okay, I believe. But we do not want to see any weekly closes below 45,000. That would not be good. All right, so we're holding these levels so far. It's looking pretty good. Given the situation we're in, given the dumps that have already occurred, as I've said in a previous video, this is quite concerning, is this gravestone doji. So you can see that happened from March to April. Let me clean this up a little bit. We wicked, look at this. We started off here at 60,000 on these 2 months, and we pumped all the way up to the all-time high. And then this is potentially smart money selling all the way from 73,000 all the way down to this area here, 60,000. We got massive selling action, and that could spell trouble for the upcoming months. Okay, so that's not looking too great for the next 3 to 6 months. We're already seeing the effects of that now, but like I said, we're not out of the woods quite yet. All right. If you guys haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe if you want to see more epic videos like this. And now let's dive into the astrology. Are you guys ready? Also, let me know what questions you guys have in the comments. I might have time to cover a couple of those. So here is the big negative transit. The Saturn conjuncting the Bitcoin Uranus. We've already seen a major dump in June. It's going to hit again in July, a direct hit on July 11th. All right, major caution there, guys. And it's still in effect all the way through July and arguably heading into early August. Concerning there, guys. Continuous concern. Okay. Now there also is another, just based on where the planets are in the sky right now, we do get, I've told you guys in previous videos that we are getting this transit coming up on July 15th. Or look at this, Uranus, Algol, and Mars are conjuncting. I told you these guys in the last video. Don't want to repeat myself too much, but that is quite negative. Could be explosive world events. All right, so I'll just keep it at that. What else? I mean, we also have a variety of other astrologies coming up. Uranus sextile Venus, July 8th. Sun trine Saturn and Venus trine Neptune. I mean, we have Saturn and Neptune retrograde. That has caused a lot of the chaos. I warned you guys about that months earlier in May. All right, so subscribe if you would like to get future video updates where I can warn you ahead of time and you will actually see those videos and view them so you can make smart decisions. All right. And like I did back in May, I took some profits. I sold some crypto into cash so that I could have cash to buy around these times right now. And I did wind up buying more crypto with a stop loss. Okay, guys. So what are my predictions? Well, continued volatility into July. Like I said, we're not out of the woods yet. We could take a look really quick at the DXY. Now this is actually, here's some positive. You guys want some positive news? This is positive here. We have, this is the dollar strength compared to other currencies around the world. We got rejected off of this level here, guys, off this trend line. It's looking good right now. And we're heading back below this, I believe, pretty critical level, 105.25. We're heading below this 50% level. So the dollar is showing weakness right now on the short term. And that's good for crypto. So it's very interesting that the dollar is actually falling off and crypto's falling off too, because typically we see crypto pump when the dollar falls. So we could see if this continues down to 104, this is going to continue to be positive for crypto. Now, if it bounces off, this is totally possible. I mean, if it bounces off and we just head back up, then that's not good for crypto. So I'll keep my eyes on this. But for the short term, this is looking very short-term bullish. You know, other altcoins like Solana is holding up very nicely so far. We got a nice bounce off of about 121, and we've headed back up. So I did buy actually a bunch of Solana, but I put a stop loss here so that if it goes lower, it'll sell the Solana that I bought, because I definitely need a lot of risk management right now, as there is a lot of volatility, a lot of unknown in the markets. But we're allowing astrology to help us see in the ocean of crypto, to be able to see the storms that are coming. We saw the storms back in May, and so we are quite well prepared. Those who have been subscribed and who have been following are quite well prepared. All right, let's see if we have any questions. How are you guys doing out there? See what questions we have. Is this the big drop you forecasted for? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes astrology happens early. This could be the big drop, or we could have more to go. I cannot give you a direct answer on that, but there's also more concern, like I said, on July 15th. So basically, we're not out of the woods. All right, guys, we got to be prepared for further downside. If it continues back upward, great. We want to be prepared for that as well. All right, so that's why I use stop losses. I am buying into the market, but with a lot of risk management. Thank you, brother. The best Astro and crypto content. Appreciate it, brother. So, getting good comments here, guys. Subscribe if you want to stay updated. Is the bull run over, or is this bull trap down to 49K? I cannot give you a definitive answer on that. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody, not even one person on this planet, can tell you exactly where Bitcoin's going to go next. Okay, but like I said, we're not out of the woods, so that is certainly possible. What you're pointing at there. You are a true angel. Wow, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, Brett F. Gel. Really appreciate that. Thank you. You have helped me so much. I love to hear that. Blessings to you. Patrick, thanks for the smiley. I love to see the red. Okay, yeah. So for those experienced traders, red can be good because it's a great buy opportunity. So if we have cash, I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I am buying when I see red and have been doing that. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Yes, that is wisdom right there, that we don't know nothing but the fact of our own ignorance. And at the same time, of course, we can do the best that we can with the information and the knowledge that we have, but to not assume that we know everything. All right, because typically the universe shows us that we don't know everything. I have a question about beginning of August, something positive. August isn't looking super, super great, so I cannot say that it's going to be very positive, but we will see. Honestly, some altcoins like Solana, Render are looking a lot more pretty in August, so that's certainly possible. But we will see. I cannot guarantee that at all. I'm doing well, Patrick. Thanks for sharing. So you think it's going to be dropping more. What do you think about this new moon? So far, the new moon, we have not gotten up. Well, I guess on this new moon, we are getting a rebound. We are pumping back up after that major drop. So I think we're getting the new moon pump right now. And this is the new moon today. So we are seeing that pump. The new moon doesn't always mark the peak. Sometimes it just marks a pump, but typically after a new moon, we'll see a dump at some point. So we got to keep our eyes out on that. Definitely a great buying opportunity, Patrick. Yeah, so looks like Patrick is buying potentially here. I do think alts total 2 rebounds hard week. So total 2. Oh yeah, total 2. Yeah, we could take a look at the altcoins really quick. We take a look at total 3 minus this minus the stable coins. I mean, on the daily, that's looking pretty good. How we did. Wow, that is a major dump. Oh, one thing that's positive here, guys, historically, is we look how far we dumped from the very peak here all the way to the bottom. Oh, wow, 44%. That's quite a dump right there. But then from here down to the low, it's about 36%. I was looking at this the other day. If we go back in history, when have we been in similar places in the market? This is the altcoins, when we're hitting a peak and then we drop back down. Could this be like a correction like we see right here? Let me zoom in a little bit. It could be a correction of similar proportion. Yeah, look at this, 38%. This dumped more than we've dumped so far. I don't necessarily think we're up at this level, but these are the kind of dumps we can see in a bull market. 39%. Okay, so that's 39%. And then lower down here, these are normal market corrections. How much was this? 35%. Okay, so we're still doing okay. I know it's intense out there. Who's feeling the intensity? Who's feeling some anxiety? Anyone feeling some anxiety today? Emotions can get crazy in crypto. That's why I think crypto can really teach us to really, over time, to get better and better at mastering our emotions. That's the goal. Is we don't want to be overreactive in this space. We want to have a solid crypto strategy and solid emotional intelligence. Very, very important if you want to succeed in this game. Do we know when the market actually is going to reverse? I don't know exactly when, but the end of the year is looking pretty good. We do have the elections at the end of the year. Typically, the markets do pretty well in an election year. And I can show you. Thank you for the update. Appreciate you, Jonathan. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the kind words. If we're going to have rate cuts in autumn, doesn't that will cancel a potential bull market? We are actually in a bear market. Well, we don't know that they're actually going to cut. That's just what they're saying. We'll see what happens. Typically, when they start cutting rates, there could be a pump and then a dump. And you're right, it could lead into, I mean, depending on how fast they cut the rates, it could lead to some dumps in the market. But I don't necessarily think a bear market, because once the rates get cut down to around close to zero, that usually marks the start of the bull. Crazy, massive, blow off top bull run. Let me show you guys this real quick. This is super blurry, but this also shows potential next level support. And this is, I believe it's around 52,000. So these are gaps that haven't been fully filled in the markets, I believe. So that's another indicator. We haven't gotten down to bounced off this level, 52,000. And it's showing a pretty significant level there that we could bounce off of here. Another thing I could show you guys really quick, if I can pull it up on the desktop. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hold your horses. So we could, like I was saying, typically election years are pretty good years. Here it is. Take a look at this. We are the pink line here. And if we look at the green line is a sitting president that's running, and that we're having that right now. Biden's running. That is a very bullish year for the S&P 500. That could mean that crypto could be very bullish as well, as crypto does tend to follow the macro markets, the S&P 500. Now, we also have top quarter one election years. We did have a very strong quarter one, so we could be following close to this red line. And now we're actually outperforming this red line historically with this historic averages. That does leave room for another dump in the macro. So we could get a macro dump in the next few months, honestly. Absolutely. But overall, as you can see, it is bullish. Overall, this red line is heading up throughout the year. So overall, I believe we're still in a bull market. So that's the good news, guys. How do you feel about that? I'm feeling good about that. Oh, shoot. That was the wrong one. All right, so let's take a look here. If we're going to have rate cuts, oh yeah, I already saw that one. Because the Fed rate cuts, don't see how the market will reverse. Well, I mean, the Fed cut rates in COVID, and the markets went off on one of the greatest bull runs we've ever seen. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe, like this video, support the channel. If you're getting value, please support this channel by interacting with the video. Comment below, like the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.